Hey y'all, let's make this Dorito Taco Casserole, okay? Let me show you what I got going here. Got this, got a pound of ground beef cooking. And I'm going to do, just like I do whenever I make my tacos, I'm going to put in just a little bit of seasoning. This is a pack that I already had open, which I usually have one. I'm just going to sprinkle this in here, but then once we drain it, I'll put a little bit more. I just like for it to cook in to the ground beef, and I've noticed that it does make a difference. And so then whenever you put some in after you drain, you might not even have to put the whole pack. So then you have a little bit left like I do. So anyway, you can do it however you want to do, okay? I'm just gonna cook this. It's really greasy. This is a ground beef and it has a lot of fat in it. So I'm gonna have to get this drained. I'm not gonna be able to do a paper towel. But once I get this done, I'll come back and we're gonna start mixing all of our stuff in here and get this thing going. Alright y'all, I've just drained our ground beef. You want to give it a little bit of a taste to see how much seasoning you want to add, if you add some in while it's cooking like I did. If not, then of course you don't have to. I'm going to add some in. Of course it's not enough. And there was so much grease in this ground beef, y'all. I'll tell you what. Alright, so I'm probably going to add about half of this pack to start with, since I did that, and then I'll just check it and we'll see. I'm going to add some onion in. I don't know why I chopped this much, because I don't think I'm going to put this many in. I don't really need that many. And I'll just throw these back in my little onion bag. And I'm going to put in just a little bit of water to let that seasoning cook in. Let the onions saute up a little bit, soften up. And then we will add our other stuff. Okay? And back here, I have a nacho cheese that I'm just going to slowly heat up. I like to add a little bit of milk to it to help kind of thin it out a little bit. If I don't have milk, I just add a little bit of water. Okay? So I just happen, y'all know I happen to have this milk. And because if not, I just feel like it's too thick. If you add a little bit in, it seems like you can kind of drizzle it over stuff much easier. Alright? But that's just personal preference. If you want to wait and let it heat up and see how thick it is before you add anything, you can do that. But because it is going to get a little thinner once it gets warm. Okay? So, oh, and here's the kind that I use. This, y'all, I think I've showed y'all before, but I know it's backwards, but it's Rico's Gourmet Nacho. Now this, it's not real hot, but it does have a little bit of a nacho flavor to it, you know, a peppery flavor. You can get this brand and it's called cheddar cheese. I think it's like in an orange can, and it's just plain cheddar cheese. It doesn't have any kind of peppery nacho flavor at all, and it's really good. I like it too. So anytime you want any kind of cheese for like nachos or anything, this cheese is the best. I love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, I'll hold it up here again. Rico's. Because people always tell me they can't see it, and that's backwards. But anyway, I'm just going to let this hang out for a second, y'all. Let that ground beef cook with all those seasonings. Whenever I come back, we're going to add our other stuff in our ground beef. Alright, y'all. So what you want to do, you just want to let that little bit of water that you put in there, you just want to let that cook out. And just let your onions get good and soft, and let that seasoning cook in really good, and then you're ready to turn it down, and then you're ready to put in your other stuff. So I'm going to do a can of Rotel, which this is a cheaper brand, but I'm not going to drain it because I'm going to let this cook for a minute and it'll cook out. A can of corn. Y'all know I love my shoe peg corn. Now this is probably different than a lot of the, or I know it's different than a lot of the Dorito Casseroles. And I make it a few different ways, but I really like this one. Alright, and then I'm going to do a can of my mixed chili beans. Now, typically people would do black beans. If you like black beans, then you can add those. Y'all know I don't. So I do this little mixture. You could do just a can of chili beans, black beans, you can do these, or you can leave it out. Anything I'm putting in here, if you don't like it, you can certainly leave it out, okay? I'm gonna run a little bit of water in this. That way we can let this cook for a second. All right. Now we don't want this liquid in here whenever we build up our casserole, but I like for all of it to cook together. And you need liquid to do that, so that's why I'm doing that. All right. That's one of our little mixtures there. I'm just gonna let this hang out and cook for a little bit. Now this is so good, I'm telling you. Look at that. Does that look good? Okay, I'm just gonna let this cook for a little bit. Let all that liquid cook out. We want to get it pretty dry, and I'll come back. Oh yeah, I forgot one thing. After I put all that in there, I like to put a little bit more of our taco seasoning. I'm just gonna finish off this little package, okay? All right, I'm just gonna mix that in. All right, y'all, I think I have you right here where you can see the pan. We're gonna start layering up our casserole. I just let that cook, like I said, till all of that liquid cooked out, and it's like a thick consistency. I'm just spraying my casserole dish here. And I've got our Doritos, and I just kind of crush them up a little bit. I don't like for mine to look like breadcrumbs, but you can crush them up however much you want. I know this is loud right here, but this is just part of the recipe. Put some in the bottom. I could have put them out in a bowl. I think I'll do that next time so it's not so loud. You want to have a good amount on the bottom because that's going to be like your crust, I guess you could say. Okay, I think that's pretty good. But you see how I like them just kind of be like this size. It's still kind of bite size, you know. Oh, okay. And here's my little scooper. I love this spoon here for stuff like this because I can always just scoop it out so easy. So we're going to put a layer of our meat mixture. Just sprinkle it over. Belle, what are you scratching at over there? I can hear her. Just, you'll hear her. She's just scratching at something. Now, typically, I will have more meat on this layer than I will the second layer. I'm kind of like that with about anything that I layer up with a meat sauce of some sort. I don't know why, but I just am. Let's see. Okay, I think it's enough, and then we'll have that for our other one. All right, we've got that. Get me a paper towel. No, I don't like that. I'm gonna get that off of there. Okay, now I'm going to take our cheese sauce. Now at this point, if you do not want to use like a cheese sauce for this, you can just put your regular shredded cheese on this, okay? So either one works. I'm fixing to use this little ice cream scoop because you don't want it to be a ton. You just want a little bit on there. And then I keep the rest for serving. Braden loves this cheese, and he loves to take them Doritos or any kind of chips, but especially Doritos. And he about eat the whole thing. He loves it. Let's see, do a bit more right there. I said not much, but okay, we got that on there, and then now we are going to do the rest of our Doritos. And I have another bag over here if I need a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and just pour these out. I think I will get just a few of them other ones. Let's see. Y'all hang on a second so I can crush them up. I don't want to do that because I know it's so loud. I'll be right back. Alright, I just went ahead and crushed them and grabbed them out and threw them on here so y'all didn't have to listen to that racket again. It's like little stuff like that will be so loud in this camera. Or the phone. Video, whatever you call it. Okay, we've got that. Now we're going to do the rest of our meat sauce. Or meat. Layer it Y'all tell me if you've ever made Dorito Casserole. How did you make yours? Like I said, there's a ton of different ways. I've made it different ways. Actually, I was debating on doing it where you mix the Doritos with shredded cheddar, sour cream, and I think maybe some milk. I debated on doing it that way, but then I said, no, I'm just going to go with this. Yeah, if y'all ever heard of that, where you mix the Doritos with some stuff and then you put them on here. Oh, there's our oven. Oh yeah, 350 for your oven. Okay. All right. Now, got our cheese. Make sure I got all that off my hand. Oh. Just shredded cheese. Some of this is some that I shredded, and some of it come from a bag. I just put a little bit of each in here. And like I said, if you don't want to do the nacho cheese, you just do this kind of cheese on that layer instead. Okay. And I wish I had some green onions. If I did, I would put some on top, but I don't. So I do have some chives here that I'm going to do. Got to have something, don't we? And then I have just a little bit of cilantro because I'm going to make some pico. So we'll sprinkle a little bit of that on top too. Okay, I'm going to pop this in the oven on 350. Probably going to cook it for maybe 20-25 minutes. And when I get all this cleaned up, I'm going to come back and we're going to make a little batch of pico. Hey y'all, I am going to make a little batch of pico to go with our Dorito Casserole. Okay, I have, I think this was 2 tomatoes here. You know, it's hard to get good tomatoes this time of year, but just get what you can. And I have a little bit of green bell pepper because I don't have any jalapenos, but normally that's what you would use. And then some red onion. Okay. And then I'm just going to throw in a little bit of cilantro, just however much you want it. I don't know, I just always put some in and then taste it. And then, let's see, a little bit of garlic salt. Just a little, so I'm going to put some regular salt. A little bit of just regular garlic. Okay. Some pepper. Okay, and then just a little bit of salt. And then I'm going to put some lime in there. I've had this sitting out here, you know, and you can roll it. I should have done it before I cut it, but you know, you can roll it like this, and that will help it juice better. Yeah, that was a lot. Did y'all see that? All right, I'm only going to do 1/2. So that just all depends on how much you get out of it. Sometimes you don't hardly get nothing, you know what I mean? And then I'm going to do just a drizzle of oil. And that's it, y'all. That is all there is to it. A little bit of pico. Let's see. We're going to mix it up here. Does it look good? Looks good, don't it? I may need a little bit more cilantro. I don't know. Let me grab me a spoon. I think it's perfect. Absolutely perfect. Okay, we're going to settle with that. I'm going to probably get it out of this bowl, put it in something smaller. But anyway, our casserole is cooking. We've got about 5 minutes left, and I'll be back and we'll check it out. Y'all, look at this. Yum, yum. Look at that. Does that not look delicious? Okay, I'm going to let it sit here and cool for just a bit, and I'll be back and we're going to taste it. Okay, y'all, let's try this Doritos Casserole. I can't wait. I've not made this in years. Alright, let's see here. Let's do about that much. Ain't that y'all? Oh me, that look good. Stuff just a falling everywhere. All right, rinse my hand. That looks so good. All right, now let's kind of, we're gonna add some more stuff to it. So I like to do sour cream, of course. I love sour cream. So I'm gonna do a big dollop of that. Okay, and I love salsa. And I can't remember if I told y'all, you can add salsa. Oh no. Well, hang on. Hang on a second, I'm gonna have to get out my little thing to get this open. Okay. Goodness, I have never had that much trouble trying to open up a jar of salsa. Usually I can do it, no problem. Goodness. All right, I'm gonna do a little bit of our pico here. And of course, I know a lot of people like black olives and stuff like that, and stuff like this, so that would be perfect too, if you like them. I don't like black olives. I like green, but I don't like black. All right, y'all, look at this. Let's give it a try. I love the way that it looks. And oh yeah, I did 350, 20 minutes. I didn't put it on broil. You know, a lot of times I put my stuff on broil. I didn't do any of that. I just did 20 minutes, 350. Well, if I can get it. I'm gonna get the camera back up here now that I got something cut. That is so good. I love this. Like I said, I hadn't made it in years, and I'm just like, oh gosh, this is so good. It brings back so many memories. Do you ever have things like that you cook, and it brings back memories whenever you used to make it a lot or something like that? Oh yeah, my hair, y'all, if you're wondering why it looks like this, I've got a treatment on it, like a conditioning treatment, and I just let it, I put it on there and I just let it sit. You'll notice back here, it's kind of wet and just pulled back. And then I'll jump in the shower later and rinse it out. You know, when you get color in your hair all the time, you got to take care of it. You got to do stuff at home to keep it in good shape. Now, I know a lot of you are going to ask, let's see, I bet this one is. Some of the chips are crispy and some of them aren't. Let's see about this one. This one looks like it will be. I think there's different ways of layering. That can help with your chips. I don't mind. I always do this, layer it this way. But you can certainly change it up, and you can leave that nacho cheese out. You know, that's gonna probably help. That's probably what helped to make the chips soft. But it is super good on it. Okay? All right, y'all try this. It's delicious. And I will see y'all next time. Bye-bye.